Do rest days kill gains? Is 1,000 push-ups a day optimal? And can you gain muscle by only eating 1 single gram of protein a day? These are just some of the questions I will be attempting to answer today. Due to the rise of social media and misinformation about fitness and fitness myths have become much more prevalent. But luckily for you, today I'm going to be putting these myths to the test and seeing what is true and what is busted. This is Fitness Buster. Let's get it. All right, so our first myth is, does doing 1,000 push-ups a day, is that optimal? Yes or no, or maybe so. Okay, so we've all seen those videos online where it's like, oh, I challenge you to do all these many push-ups. But my question is, does the science actually back it up? And this is really important for me because for 2 years straight, I used to do 100 push-ups every single day, okay? Now guys, this is what the science says. The science says that training to muscle hypertrophy is very good. However, training to muscle hypertrophy does not mean doing endless reps. It means training to progressive overload and doing heavier weight. So unfortunately, these 1,000 rep challenges are not optimal. And actually, they can be more of a detriment to your long-term gains because what can happen is you do 1,000 push-ups on day one, okay? You get really sore, and by those last like 400 reps, your form is probably be extremely bad. Then if you try to replicate this on day two, you are increased risk to have injury to your shoulder or your chest. And on top of that, your form is likely going to be very poor as well. So you're not actually gonna be benefiting from the push-ups in the first place. So that is why, guys, I'm going to sadly have to say that this myth is busted. However, I still think that doing 100 push-ups a day is good for not only your physical resilience, but your mental resilience. But 1,000 push-ups a day is a no-no. On to the next myth. Let's go. All right, so our second myth is to whether or not doing an ab routine can get you abs, okay? So we've seen those online fitness gurus or those online YouTubers who are like, hey, if you want abs, just buy my fitness routine of $59.99, okay? And my question is, do those routines actually work and can they get you abs? Or are those just snake oil salesmen who's trying to gain a profit, okay? Now guys, the answer to this I thought would be super hard to determine, but it's actually super easy, okay? So what the science states is there is no scientific evidence that doing a specific ab routine can on its own get you abs. Now, whoa. I know what you guys are gonna start coming at me like wildfire. You're gonna be like, hey, you're wrong. You know, start typing in comments, wait. Let me give you my argument real quickly, okay? So here's the thing. Although in itself, no ab routine can give you abs, the largest determinant for whether or not you have abs is actually your body fat percentage. And to lower your body fat percentage, it is done through cardio and through having a healthy diet as well. So if you're doing a healthy diet and you're doing cardio, you're gonna lower your body fat percentage. However, if you do cardio and you have a good diet, this is gonna decrease your body fat percentage. And then if you have a decreased body fat percentage, this increases your chance of showing abs. However, once you have that lower body fat percentage, what you can then go on to do is now you do your ab routine, because again, abs are still a muscle, but the only way you're gonna be able to see them is not only if you have a low body fat percentage, you're eating healthy, and then once you've done those first two things, then you can actually start to build that muscle, because then once you start to build that muscle, it'll become much more pronounced. And it's like training anything else, like your chest, your tris, your bis, your delts, anything. The more you train it, the more it's gonna show and the bigger they're gonna be. But this is still misinformation, because these fitness gurus do not tell you what I just told you. These fitness gurus are selling their course only, and their course does not have the cardio, it does not have the diet, it only has the ab routine. And that is why I'm going to have to say that this fitness myth of doing any singular ab routine to get abs has been busted. All right, so our third myth is whether or not rest days kill your gains, okay? We've all seen these videos online where people will be like, oh, I take 0 days off, I take no days off. But my question is that actually optimal to get your muscle gains? Or is that only gonna be a detriment to you in the long term? And guys, this is actually a really straightforward answer, and I'm not even gonna entertain the other side of the argument. Guys, if you are not taking any rest days, you are only going to be hurting your gains. Let me tell you why. So what the science says is pretty much how muscles work is when we train in the gym, okay, we are tearing fibers in our muscles, okay? However, these fibers can only be rebuilt during our rest days, okay? So during your rest days, that's when the time the muscles are able to recoup themselves, and when they are able to rebuild themselves, that's how you actually see muscle growth, because the fibers get stronger and they get bigger, okay? But if you don't do any rest days, if you're in the gym 7 days a week, every single day is a super hard session, then you're never gonna ever have the chance to rebuild your muscle fibers. And this is only gonna hurt your gains because you're not taking the time to back up for a second and rest. So that is why, guys, this myth is extremely busted, okay? You have to have at least one rest day a week, if not two, for optimal gym sessions. And on top of that, guys, if you have at least 1 to 2 rest days, then that's just gonna make your next days in the gym even more intense, because you can then go harder than if you were going 7 days a week, because now you've got a rest day to recoup, and then the next day is even of a more insane session, which we love to see. Myth is busted. On to our next myth. All right, so myth number 4 is you have to be sore to build muscle, okay? So we've all heard the phrase, no pain, no gain. But how accurate is this statement really? Because here's the thing, guys. I've had workouts where I feel super tired, I feel super broken, beaten up, and I'm always thinking those are the best ones. That's because that's what I'm trying to strive for every single session, is I'm trying to push my body to the point where I cannot move the next day. And that's what I've been doing for years. But is that actually accurate, or am I just misguided gym bro information? Well, guys, the data is actually gonna be kind of surprising to you. So pretty much what the scientific backed data says is muscle soreness is not 100% a good indication of whether or not muscle damage occurred. So because just like I was saying beforehand with how we need to take all our rest days, when our muscles are built, it's not built through actually like pumping iron. The muscle fibers are then able to repair themselves on rest days. And that process of repairing themselves ends up allowing them to get bigger and stronger, which increases your strength, and it also increases your muscle size and density. But guys, the thing is this can occur and you may not even feel it. You may not even be sore, but if you still had a good damage to your muscle occurred, you may not even notice it. That can still lead to good muscle growth and muscle strength increasing, even though you don't actually feel it. So it's kind of a weird thing to me, a weird phenomenon to myself, because I've always been striving to be in pain the next day after the gym. But it turns out that's not actually necessary. You can have a totally good workout and just not feel it and still have great gains because of that workout. So I'm going to have to say that this myth of you need to feel it the next day for every single workout is busted, surprisingly. All right, so guys, our next fitness myth is, does stretching before and after you exercise, does that actually prevent injury? Or is that just a misguided thing that we've all been taught to do and we've all just been replicating, okay? Now guys, I personally myself, I love to stretch, okay? I feel like when I'm stretching, I feel like I'm getting my muscles ready mentally and physically as well, because I'm mentally locking in. But do I actually have to do this every single time I go to the gym? Or can I just skip the stretch next time and get into the weight, okay? So guys, this is what the science says. The science says that stretching before working out has been shown to prevent soft tissue injury in your muscles, okay? So stretching is good. However, the type of stretching you do also matters. We have to know if we're gonna be doing static or dynamic stretching. And it's been shown that dynamic stretches where you're actively moving are much more effective for preventing injury than just static stretching is. And in fact, in some cases, static stretching can actually increase your risk of injury. So if we are going to be stretching before and after the gym, it's important we be doing dynamic stretches instead of static stretches, because static stretches can only be a detriment, while dynamic stretches can make you so much more ready to lift so much more heavier weight. Therefore, I'm going to say that this myth of stretching before the gym has been fact-checked by yours truly, and it is good to go. Let's go. This myth is fact. Rah! Alright, so guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you guys. I found out some super interesting myths, and then also one interesting fact as well. So if you would like another myth busting video or fitness busting video, please like and subscribe and comment and say, hey, we want another fitness busting video, and I will make this for you guys. Yep. And then last thing is, again, please like and subscribe. We've reached our goal of 100 subscribers, which I'm so thankful for. And now we are on to 1,000. Let's get it.